In Chicago, a nonprofit hair salon is teaching bewildered adoptive parents how to properly style their children's hair.
Our own Elaine Quijano visited a suburb in the Windy City and saw firsthand how an act as simple as braiding hair can bring communities together.
Our roles will make her hair last longer, and then she can be as athletic as she wants to be.
Linda Bolger and her mom, Vanessa, have been regular visitors to this salon for years.
It was apparent right from the beginning that her hair was different than mine, and that what I had been used to in my life up to that point, and so I knew that we needed to get some education.
Vanessa adopted Linda when she was 3 years old.
And I went to a lot of salons. Nobody does children's hair. The moms do it. Well, it's like I don't have that skill. I don't have that knowledge.
As a newly adoptive mother, what was that like for you when you would get told, well, we don't really have the ability to help you in this situation?
I was in tears. I was literally in tears. I did not know where to turn.
Through a chance connection, they met Tamika Swint, the salon owner, who was just beginning to steer her career into a nonprofit mission.
I realized how much lack that there was from the African American community to help. And I know the salon environment as a stylist and how sometimes it can feel like you're being judged. But she still struggles. That is why I felt honored to be part of the change into something different that would be non-judgmental, that would be open and loving. Oh my gosh.
13 years later, the conversations have gone well beyond hair care.
Oh my gosh, I had a new level of respect for you.
At Styles for Kids, uncomfortable questions are answered openly.
Like, should I say black or African American? I mean, as simple as that. Because I didn't want to insult anyone. I didn't want to be insensitive to anyone.
Swint helps parents understand why some African Americans might be opposed to interracial adoptions.
Are they really exposing them to what is going to help them succeed in life as an African American person? I think that's like the main concern.
The parents have formed their own community where they can share tips and help their children interact with people who look like them.
It's so important for that child to know I am African American, and although I grew up in a family that didn't look like me, that I am owning who I am as a person.
Lessons Linda Bolger is embracing.
Coming here and getting my hair done makes me happier, makes me feel more confident, and when I walk out, I feel like I can conquer anything.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Just one sign of success for Swint.
I have a depth to my life and friends that I would not have had if I was on that path. So I'm grateful. I feel really grateful. I just want to know
that I love her. She's never out of my life. I told her that early on. You are never out of my life.
You're never out of mine. I'm telling you, it's been such a blessing. The friendships that I formed with the moms and dads, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it.
So Elaine Quijano is joining us.
Welcome, Elaine.
Now,
Good morning. This used to be your old stopping grounds.
I know, exactly. True, yeah. So we were having this whole discussion while your story was airing because it's so funny how hair can be a springboard to conversations about politics and race and social interactions and all that sort of stuff. But let's just start with, how did this whole thing get started at this salon?
Styles for Kids.
Yeah, so it's interesting. She was a stylist. Tamika Swint was doing hair for primarily African American clients when someone approached her and said, you know what, I need help with this, and sort of opened her eyes to this notion that there are a lot of children who have parents or caregivers who just aren't familiar with textured hair. They just have not in their lives had any opportunity to kind of know about this. And so once she started delving into it and looking into what was available, she realized there's nothing to help. Well, wait a minute, I can help in a bigger way. Yeah. And so that's what she started to do. She would get referrals. People would say with word of mouth, oh, go see Tamika, she has this thing. And gradually she sort of then decided, I'm gonna shift my professional ambition here into this nonprofit, and so that's how Styles for Kids started.
Love it.
So, you know, it's so inspiring to hear that young lady talk about how she feels, right? And the question I guess I have is, how many people have been impacted by Styles for Kids.
Right.
And does she get a sense of that she's fulfilling a lot of people's...
She does, because she does these workshops also. It's not just sort of one-on-one clients that come to the salon. She'll have workshops in various states, and as sort of word of mouth has spread the notion of her salon's existence, she's found that people are reaching out to her. How can I do this in my own community? What is it that you did when you first started out? What are the principles that I need to keep in mind? Which is what she wants to do. She said that she wants to create a community where black hair is celebrated. And it's a diverse community, she emphasizes, right? That it's not just people who look like her who are gonna understand the nuances involved. Her goal is really to kind of bridge that divide and kind of reach across and make a place where people can ask questions without fear of being judged.
You know, how many stories have we done, though, you say, where black hair is celebrated, and it should be celebrated, but we've done so many stories of young girls, and in some cases young boys, who are told to get off sports teams, or to not be cheerleaders, or to even go to school.
And I think black hair is often, in a way that maybe people don't understand, politicized.
Yes, absolutely.
And so when you see sort of a little girl who just wants to look pretty or cute like the other girls in her class, you realize what a difference an experience like this can make. And I want to talk about just how it changes the relationship between the adoptive parent and the child. And I'm going to kind of give full disclosure, and I hope I don't get skewered on social media for this, but I'm a black woman, I have a black little girl, I can't do her hair. I get somebody, and part of the reason I get somebody to come in is because we would fight all the time about it. And now I get a professional who comes to our house, and Mira, we love you. Haley looks hot all the time, she looks fantastic, and it's because of her.
Well, okay, so that is so interesting that you say that, because then imagine that you're a new mom, right, of a different race, and this child that you haven't yet fully formed a bond with is wondering what you're doing and gets the sense that you don't know what you're doing. Vanessa told me that her feeling as a mother was one of failure when she couldn't fix her daughter's hair. She was beside herself. She said, you know, really in tears. And so in addition to caring for the child's needs and making sure that the child is safe and protected, you had this sort of, again, gap, right, where she wasn't able to connect with her daughter fully, and now she can.
What a wonderful story.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you so much for coming by, Elaine.
Great to see you
Miss you in the
guys.
mornings.
Oh, it's good to see you guys.